That painting is crooked. What's up, guys? GRC here, finally back with another video. My head is killing right now, but my head is pretty much always killing, so we're going to try and surge ahead and get this video done anyways. In this video, I want to talk about my drug trial of Nurtec, aka rimegepant. In my experience, when it comes to migraine meds, there's an extreme amount of variance, meaning different medications are going to affect people differently. Saying that, it kind of sounds obvious, but it's worth repeating because it's just good to keep that in the back of your head. So naratriptan, for instance, which is a triptan medication for migraine, could be a miracle drug for one person, and it could make another sick to their stomach and do nothing but make their migraines worse. So don't expect my experience with certain drugs to mirror your own. So you might be thinking, then why even watch this video? Well, because I need the money, duh, and you want to support me, right? No, but seriously, because misery loves company, it can be nice to know that there are other people out there dealing with the same shit you are. And that goes both ways. Believe it or not, I love hearing that migraine meds that didn't work for me were absolute game changers for other people. Yeah, I get kind of jealous hearing that at times, but it also gives me hope that my miracle drug is still out there. I just haven't found it yet. And B, I went from A to 2, but B, I think there are still some good things to know going in before you start Nurtec, even if they don't affect you in the same way, because I think there's still a good chance that they will affect you. So, I took Nurtec for about 2 weeks, exactly almost every other day. I was essentially using it as a preventative medication since my migraines tend to be chronic in nature. I've suffered with intractable chronic migraine since the dawn of time. Oh no, wait, it just feels like that, sorry. My migraines really blew up in the spring of 2013 when I was hit with a bout of vertigo so bad I could barely walk, and that's not an exaggeration. I was bedridden for about 11 to 12 weeks until a neuroautoologist provided me with a diagnosis of migraine-associated vertigo, or MAV, and thank God I got a second opinion, because the first, I think he was an ear, nose, and throat specialist. I don't know if he was a neuroautoologist though. Anyway, the first doctor I saw regarding my vertigo misdiagnosed it as labyrinthitis, or an inner ear infection caused by a virus, which basically, when it's caused by a virus, basically there's nothing you can do but wait it out. So I'm really glad I didn't wait any longer to try and get in to see this guy, because I'm pretty sure I had to wait, I think it was a 3 to 4 week wait. It was so long ago, though I can barely remember. Anyway, he gave me the correct diagnosis, and following the recommended diet he gave me, I think within a week or two, my vertigo was virtually gone. Fast forward to present day, I don't really suffer from vertigo anymore, but migraines, IBS, anxiety, and depression are still the bane of my existence and have essentially prevented me from being a consistently productive member of society. Obviously, you can see from my channel, I am capable of being productive at times and even appearing intelligent. What I really lack is consistency. I often have really bad bouts of brain fog where I turn into a complete moron. And that's not an exaggeration either. Because my energy is so limited and I seem to only have brief periods of mental acuity, it often takes me a lot longer to accomplish certain tasks. And to be honest, this is something I wish that other people understood, because honestly, it took me a while to understand my own issues enough to be able to explain them clearly and concisely to other people. So I guess if it takes me that long to figure out my own shit, I guess I can't really expect other people to, unless they've been through it themselves. But that's part of just why this disease fucking sucks, because unless you have migraines, you can't really see a migraine on someone else. You can probably tell from my face, my eyes are really, I kind of have what I call migraine face right now. Where was I going with that? Oh, it sucks that this is an invisible illness. That's my point, yeah. But back to the script here. So over the past 10 years, I have tried so many different medications, I had honestly lost count. But just for this video, I made the list. I'm going to throw them up on the screen now. In case there's audio-only listeners, I'm going to read them out as well. Verapamil, atenolol, amitriptyline, nortriptyline, protriptyline, gabapentin, Topamax, Botox, Aimovig, Emgality, eptinezumab, or Vyepti, Lyrica, Naratriptan, Sumatriptan, Ubrelvy, Promethazine, Compazine, Nurtec, marijuana, extra-strength Tylenol, ibuprofen, and I even tried Rayval last night, and that, I don't think I'm going to do a separate video on that drug, but I'll probably do, just to remain hip, I'll do one of the YouTube shorts, because that's going to be a minute or less video, because I only took it once, and I'm probably never going to take it again. Whew! As you can see, I've tried a few different meds. So the big question is, did Nurtec work for me? Short answer, I don't know. Long answer, we'll have to see. Overall, my experience with it was better than most of the other drugs I've tried. Usually I can't last more than 3 or 4 days on a med because the side effects are so severe that they either prevent me from sleeping or eating or both. Strangely enough, I think most of the side effects I experienced from the Nurtec weren't from the drug itself. I think they were from the inactive ingredients, because Nurtec is not, it's not like a regular drug or a pill that you just swallow. It's what they refer to as, oh, come on, get off my face, an orally disintegrating tablet, which means they have to add other stuff to it to make it palatable. I have to say it actually did taste pretty good. Not at all like medicine, more just like a breath mint. One of the inactive ingredients in Nurtec, and what I suspect was the culprit for me in particular, was something called mannitol. As far as I know, it's made from fructose and hydrogen, and often used as a sweetener, as I suspect is the case here. Unfortunately for me and any of my fellow extremely sensitive FODMAP dieters out there, it's a high FODMAP ingredient. It's also what I suspect to be the cause of most of my side effects. So, who makes this? Biohaven, if you're listening, make Nurtec in a pill form that you can just swallow, sans mannitol. That would be much appreciated. So when I first started taking the drug, I actually thought I'd found my miracle. I thought, this is the medication that's going to make all those past failed trials worth it. This is going to improve my quality of life to the point where I'm actually glad to be alive. And that's really what it felt like for the first week. Then I noticed my fatigue wasn't really getting better, it was getting worse. I was also sleeping more than usual and still waking up tired. But I didn't get that feeling that I overslept. It really felt more like my body needed those extra hours of sleep. You could see the fatigue on my face quite easily. There were darker than usual circles under my eyes, and overall, I just had less energy than usual, and my energy levels already aren't good. They're like well below average, I would say. I did have some digestive upset as well, but I wasn't getting heartburn like I normally do. I was getting stomach aches. Like I could feel something in the tablet almost having a laxative effect on my bowels. Now, there are a few reasons I'm still unsure of how the Nurtec itself really affected me. For instance, I don't know how much of a factor the placebo effect played. Usually the placebo effect wears off for me after about 2 to 4 weeks, and since I stopped at the end of week 2, it's going to remain a mystery. I also think one of the big benefits I saw from the Nurtec was being able to give my body a break from the sumatriptan, which is a drug I take about 5 to 6 times a week. If you're unfamiliar with sumatriptan, it was the gold standard for abortive migraine medication. I'm not sure where the gold standard lies now that new meds have come out. So it's a medication for the acute treatment of migraine, and it's really only meant to be taken no more than twice a week. As I understand it, this is for 2 reasons. Firstly, its safety hasn't been studied to be taken on a near daily basis, but from the conversations I've had with a few neurologists, it's a very old and safe drug, and there are no real serious health risks taking it that often. The biggest downside of taking it that frequently is something called rebound headaches. Essentially, the medication that is supposed to be helping your migraines will actually start to cause them. And this is something I've experienced multiple times firsthand. I've noticed it's a very sensitive balancing act, and if I'm not careful, the sumatriptan will start doing more harm than good, unfortunately. So taking those necessary breaks from the drug are actually quite important, and that's something the Nurtec really helped with because I was able to alternate drugs each day. See, Nurtec has been approved for both the preventative and acute treatment of migraines. Basically, you can take it on an as-needed basis as long as you don't go over the 75 milligram dosage in a 48-hour period. I think a lot of the positives I mistakenly attributed to the Nurtec was actually just sort of my body almost detoxing from the sumatriptan. Another unknown is how much the mannitol was really affecting me. I don't think that's something we can really know until they make a form of Nurtec without it. Unfortunately, this is the only form you can get it in right now, which is why my longer answer was, we'll see. So I'll probably try another G-Pant drug next. Unfortunately, Qulipta also has mannitol in it, so I only took that once. I don't want to mess around with it. And there's also Vyepti, which is also known as eptinezumab. That's actually the drug I was supposedly on when I did a migraine drug trial study a few years ago. And that was a double-blind study, so the drug had so few side effects with me that I couldn't even tell whether I was getting the actual medicine or the placebo. And I was told at the end of the drug trial that I did, in fact, get the real medicine. So I'm hoping that drug, worst case scenario, it does nothing for me. Best case scenario, it obviously reduces my migraines and improves my quality of life. Anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions on any of the medications I've tried, let me know. I will do my best to get back to you. Just leave them below in the comments. And yeah, I hope everyone's doing better than I am. Jesus, what a fucking year. Whew. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.